Hello and welcome again to another edition of Give It a Shot, Mystery Box Edition. As always, I have 5 DVDs here that I could possibly be watching. Throw them in the box, mix it up, and we'll see what comes out. So let's start with what we have this month. Returning again is the triple feature of Donkey Kong Country. Not looking forward to that. Up next, we have the second CG animated DVD already, Strawberry Shortcake, Sky's the Limit, as far as the kitchen goes. Then we got our third CG animated one. I almost think there's a theme here. This is Hermie and Friends, Busby the Misbehaving Bee. It's been on the list before, but hasn't made it yet. New addition this time is Dragons, Fire and Ice. I haven't the slightest idea, but it looks pretty dated, so it's in the running. And then finally, Really Wooly, The Tree of Life. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. There's the handles. Really Wooly, The Tree of Life. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm probably going to be very scared because I get to do things, I guess. I don't know. Let's just do this. Well, that was a change of pace. So today I had Really Wooly, The Tree of Life. This is a bit of an odd duck and a rare combination, and it kind of supports the argument that I've made a long time about animation and quality versus story and things like that. But before I get into it, I'm still trying to figure out what on earth this is all about. Like, there's inserts to this thing about meeting your online live teacher for something that I don't really understand. Oh, sheep, Arkansas. Arkansas is the close cousin of West Virginia, so you go figure that out. And they have Really Wooly products, including Jacob and Gracie plushes. They don't look very good. In fact, they look kind of cheap. But whatever. I'm not here to review merchandise. I'm here to review this. Really Wooly is, going back to my original point, supports this argument that I've had. Your animation doesn't have to be great. Your story has to be better. And by and large, this has a good story. Synopsis. So we've got these two sheep here, Jacob and Gracie. They play pirates in this tree. That's what I had originally thought was in their yard, but it's not. I found that out later because a lot of things are going through my mind as I'm watching this. It deals with this premise of these two enjoy this tree a lot, and they play pirates in it, and they enjoy it. It's kind of like a mix between Muppet Babies and Bobby's World when it comes to the imagination part. They get pretty vivid about it, which is a nice welcome change. I like both of those shows because I think that's something that's, in my humble opinion, is squarely missing from television animation nowadays. Is like storytelling wise, like not sharing the potential of not animation, but imagination. I don't know if that's even really talked about anymore. I mean, everything's more just like, here you go, here it is. You don't even really push it. But they imagine that it's their pirate ship and whatnot, and their family receives news that there's going to be a new road. that's going to connect their town to another town, and it's going to be great for everybody.
I'm sure you two have heard about the road that's being built between Woolleyville and Ram's Head.
Yeah, we talked about it at school. Miss Curley says it's going to make things a whole lot better.
One of the residual effects will be they got to cut down this tree. Now, at first I thought that this tree was in their, like in their property, and they're like claiming, like the state or whoever is claiming eminent domain, because that's kind of what they can do. And I'm like, okay, that's odd. So naturally the kids are upset. They don't care for this, and they do something I didn't expect them to do, especially when I explain later, like what this turns out to be. I should have guessed by the title Tree of Life, but they protest.
Well, tomorrow Grace and I are going to make some pictures to show why cutting down the tree would be bad. But if that doesn't work, we're going to tie ourselves to the tree.
They are literally protesting the chopping down of this tree, and they do things like make signs, and then they picket in front of the tree that they don't want it to go down, and they do it for a while. But part of their issue is they think that their parents are complacent with the cutting down of this tree. And it turns out the grandmother has to explain why, this isn't like, it's sad, but it's not the end of the world.
Yes, Jacob. Sometimes things that seem sad to us now will bring much joy later.
So already, I'm getting more of a serious vibe. Like, it's not talking down to you. It's actually like serious conversation about things, because they do talk about the tree like you're losing a loved one, like someone in the family is dying.
Yeah, our tree's the best.
Kids, we need to talk to you about something very important.
Yeah, it's a tree, but it's still, like, oddly powerful. Like, I did not expect this to go the way that it does. I don't know if I genuinely enjoyed this or not. Actually, I know that I liked it, but it wasn't like, there are hiccups. I'll just go with that route. So, Grandma comes out and starts talking to them about things, and then this is where it takes the turn.
What's new with you kids?
Well, Grandma, it's been pretty crazy.
I thought so. Look at you with these signs. It takes me right back to the 60s.
And they start talking about Jesus, except they call him Jesus eventually, but he's the shepherd, which makes sense. If you know anything about biblical stuff, the shepherd in the Bible and Christ.
This tree was cut down so it would be made into something else. This tree was made into a cross.
You mean the cross the shepherd died on for us?
Yeah, that works. And they go into the whole Easter story about the cross, and they actually use a reference that I was not expecting as well, which is where in a lot of Christian circles they call the cross the tree. So they make that comparison, and this is an interesting twist, because in all my years I've never had this cross my mind, and it baffles me that this is the first time I've even, this has even been broached as far as I'm concerned. So Grandma comes out and starts explaining stuff, and she doesn't even badmouth. In fact, nobody badmouths them for protesting, which is something that I thought would have happened.
We love this tree so much, so we can't let them cut it down, and that's why we're out here.
Well, that's very noble of you two. I admire your devotion.
After I thought about this, like, wow, they're really not, they're like okay with protesting. This is okay, cool. Which is a neat thing, because they were even thinking about tying themselves to the tree, which is like, oh wow, we're really gonna go that route. Kind of like the Christmas tree, except Santa's not gonna cast lightning and kill somebody. You're not gonna get that lucky in this. But Grandma comes out while they're protesting, and they start talking about the tree and the tree that is cut down and fashioned to become the cross. And how like that tree probably did not want to become, didn't want to be cut down and then used as a cross. And but the moral of the whole thing was, sometimes we have to give things up so that others can prosper, being selfless. Like I grew up in a time where this stuff was cynical as all get out, like the Donut Repair Club, Bible Man, McGee and Me, all of that just so hokey and so just not well done. And then this thing comes around and it's like, whoa, I was not expecting this at all. And so the kids reconcile the issue, and they're like, all right, well, seeing as how they're going to cut it down, we at least want to have one last night here, so let's have a picnic. And while we're at it, let's take an acorn so that we can plant it in our yard, and it'll grow. And they finally let it go. They have this very interesting thing, and this goes back to the Bobby's World / Muppet Babies thing, where they have the pirate theme, and the tree cutters show up as invading pirates of sorts. And at the very end, as they're fighting them in their imagination, they finally reach the point of like, all right, we concede.
It's time we be cutting down your tree.
No, Jacob. It's time to let go.
We're okay. They jump out of the ship and then watch it disappear as the tree cutters take it down. And then the day comes that they do it and it's gone. And then there's some very interesting character building moments here in this. I did not expect this to go the route that it did. And it's pretty solid that way. There's this one character in there. His name is David. He has a thing about food, and they exploit that pretty big. Because naturally the fat sheep is going to be an eater. Well, you can't write miracles all the time. So there's that. The other thing, and this is the one that really got me, and I almost had a feeling. I almost had feels. Like, the children are angry at the parents, especially the mother, for not wanting to help.
Do you want me to go out and talk to them?
I don't think that's a good idea. They think we're the enemy right now.
Did you tell them that we don't want it taken down any more than they do?
Yes, but they don't understand.
But the problem was, like, the mother actually didn't want this tree to go down either. I mean, it's kind of hinted at the entire time, but then when the grandmother comes to the kids and talks to them about things, it's discussed that tree was pretty small when the mother was living in that same. Apparently, the mother never left the house. She lived at this house, and when she was very little, it's where she played. And then, like, the part that almost got me to have an emotion was she got married under that tree, and they showed that. So it's like, wow, okay, we are not pulling punches. We're going to be serious about this. So it's for a 30-minute cartoon about, this tree and these sheep. It's astonishingly well done. I did not expect this to be as good as it is, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. First and foremost, the animation is not very good. It's not Dingo levels of bad. In fact, the whole thing, and because I had problems with the DVD when I first got it started up, I don't know what the whole thing's deal is, but the menu for the thing is garbage. So that's one slam against it. The menu is garbage, and the animation reminds me of the Mortal Kombat cartoon, not the one that had 12 or 13 episodes, but the one that they made in preparation for the movie. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's where they mixed 2D and 3D animation to make this work, and that's kind of what you get with this. Like, the sheep are flat characters, sprites, whatever you want to call them, assets, against like this almost three-dimensional space. It kind of reminds me of early Flash in a way, because things are kind of stilted and jilted and when they move and shit. But, you know, that's really its only knock that I can give it. It's not... I mean, yeah, that animation is distracting at times. And I have some, you know, there's some things about it that just don't look right, you know, because, you know, they don't have the budget to show the tree getting cut down or the characters doing anything really dynamic because of their limitations with the assets and that, which, again, goes back to the point where the story is what works. And I will always argue that point. I don't care, really, about your animation. If it looks terrible, but the story is good, I'm in. I'm not saying this thing was perfect. It had its weird moments, but by and large, it's solid. I did not expect this to be as good as it was. Now, it's no story Superbook, but it's not cynical. It's not cynical like McGee and Me or Bible Man. I would almost... I mean, if there's more of these, I'd almost want to see them, because I've seen a couple episodes. My partner grew up with VeggieTales, and for a goof, I bought her like 13 VeggieTale DVDs, because they're like a dime a dozen now. So I bought those for her birthday. Because I just thought it'd be funny. And she got a kick out of it when I found out she liked them. I would almost put this on that level. I mean, I'd have to see more to make sure that, you know, they don't lose their minds about stuff. But by and large, this was surprisingly good. You know, some moments of weakness with the animation. And there were a couple things in the story that weren't on the up and up. But I'm impressed. I like this. I did not think, and I guess that's sort of like the deal with Give It a Shot, right? It's like, I've got these mystery DVDs. I don't really know a thing about them. I mean, I may have heard things, maybe not. You know, I just randomly buy them, and it's like, yeah, let's see what happens. So, you know, this one was not bad. It's definitely not that Royal Academy bullshit. This might be, in fact, this is... really, in a rating, this is my first no shots given. No shots! It's not bad. I'm setting a precedent. I don't know. I don't know what this means. It's that good. It's. I don't have anything to complain about. Because it's, you know, like Alvin and the Chipmunks had its moments of. Every last one of them has had moments of where I gotta at least take one. This one I don't. So, wow. Pretty good. Dayspring. It was apparently out of Arkansas, again, there's a connection there that I think is lewd. But, well, they didn't do it here, so cool. So yeah, wow. First no shots given. I'll have to make a graphic for that. Here you go. Until next time, kids. Hell, I'll take one shot at least. A farewell shot because I don't like to waste drinks. I'm cheap like that, so salute, motherfucker. Damn. Goodbye.